Good evening, everyone. What's up with you guys? This is your special channel, The Key of Science, alive and kicking one more time. Today is February 2nd. It's Thursday, 2023, and we're really nice. It'll be really a nice adventure tonight. We have BRAKS right here waiting for joining me in this real cool live stream, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. All right, I can see some friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Let me see here. I think I saw some people around. Okay, the plain truth is with us here tonight. Hey, what's up with you, buddy? Welcome aboard. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight, man. I'm always following your channel there. You got some really cool videos, always uploading new stuff. Your live stream is also pretty cool, man. Thank you for being with us here tonight. Probably we're going to have some more people joining us later on after we talk to BRAKS. It's his first time here in the show, so I believe it's going to be an interesting interview, probably one of the best ones we've ever had here in the channel. All right, so oh, look who's here. Robson, good night, buddy. Good evening. What's up with you, pal? Thank you for joining us. This live will be amazing. Thank you so much, Patricia, for joining us tonight as well. Thank you very, very much. All right. Well, I'm not going to be just saying good evening to all of you, but I believe a lot of stuff are about to happen tonight. There's going to just blow our minds. All right, that's what I'm really looking forward to tonight. So Oh, we also have here Numacol is in the house. What's up, buddy? What is the subject tonight? It's right rolling on the screen. We're going to talk about the scientific method, and we have a guest tonight who's a very good friend of mine. His name is Will BRAKS, and he's going to join us in a couple of minutes, all right? Let me see who else we have here. Raya is with us tonight. Hey, what's up? Thank you for joining. Havana Moreira. We have to use a lot of accent tonight because we got Americans, people from all over the world is going to be watching us. So it's kind of cool to work like this. Bia is also here. Nice. Using her, expanding her horizon, using her English right now. Good evening, people. Good evening, Bia. Thank you so much for being with me here tonight in the studio. She's the one who's going to be, like putting up the messages from the chat on the screen so you guys can see what's happening during our conversation here, during our dialogue with these Will BRAKS man, which he has a channel on YouTube as well, which is called Will BRAKS, and I'm going to be sending you guys the link later on so you can all watch it and take a look at his videos. He talks about a lot of stuff there, mostly in Spanish, I believe, but I'm going to be talking to him about this. Alex is in the house. The book is on the table, right, man? Tonight, the flat earth is on the table, right? Okay, hi everyone. My friend Will BRAKS sent me here to enjoy the show. Thank you, Ravi Gonzalez. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you enjoy the interview. Okay, so well, let's kick it, right? I think it's about time. So I'm going to play a little intro video here, and we will be right back. Let me see which one. This one's got some Portuguese stuff, but don't mind that. Hey, what's up, my man? How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation. I'm going to put you on the other side and make you a little bigger so you can be in evidence right now. Please introduce yourself to everyone here, and you can just hit it, buddy.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you,
Awesome.
man.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me here, Eduardo. Uh, it's a pleasure being here. Thanks for the invitation. And yeah, my name is Will BRAKS, everybody. Hi to everyone that's watching, everyone's in the chat. I saw Javi Gonzalez and Hayana around there. Thanks for coming through. Also, everyone else that's in the chat, Bia, she always says hi to me whenever I'm in the chat as well, listening to your streams, Eduardo. And I'm just,
Right.
really excited to, um, have a little chat with you about all this, right? And
Great.
the big, how would you say, the big conspiracy
Yeah.
that's taking over. But yeah, my name is Will BRAKS, and I have a YouTube channel. It's called Will BRAKS, and also my show within the channel is called Better Methods. Y'all can check me out, and well, yeah, happy to be here, Eduardo.
Great. I will put up the link to your channel so people can go and check it out, right? Let me
Awesome.
ask you something, Will. When did you start your channel, and why did you decide to go ahead and create a channel on YouTube? And what is it about, actually? I mean, do you have a main focus on something, or is it a bit of a general channel? We talk about a little of everything. Give us a little intro on your channel.
Okay. Yes. My channel consists of let's say of just basically focusing on certain essence of what is science, and
Okay.
having definitions, well, defined words, so that everything can be really clear and simple to understand. uh my show is like a podcast. You can listen to it, and sometimes I have some definitions, some, wordings, or pictures or something, just to try to clarify to the audience of what I'm trying to
Great.
explain. Other than that, yes, we do actually talk about other things, other than, let's say, I mean, everything's kind of connected, right? But let's say,
Yeah.
other than the scientific method, that's what I base my channel on, first off. And then, second, we go to, like, let's say, technology, or conspiracies that are taking over, or things like that, right? It
Yeah.
consists of a lot of things, but I try to focus more on what's proven, or what can be proven on my channel.
Yes. I was
Also,
actually watching
oh,
your video on the scientific method this afternoon.
awesome.
And I found it really, really interesting. So I'm really excited that you're going to bring this up tonight, because a lot of people don't pay too much attention to this kind of stuff. They're kind of, indoctrinated to believe that's what it is. Everybody said it is this way before. So we just got to go with the flow. So when we start thinking outside the box, I believe that's the time for us to try to have a little inner thinking about what's the world like for real. And maybe that's when people start questioning, like we've been doing this so much these days, and a lot of other channels are actually doing the very same thing. We can notice that there is some kind of new wave, spreading throughout the world, where people are questioning more and more each day. So I believe the work we're doing now may not be something for the next couple of years that will be actually bringing any kind of effect, but maybe later on in the future, things are going to get bigger and bigger. So, but we need to have a starting point. And that's the part that really amazes me, that people like you and I and people from all over the world right now, they are really into doing something that is kind of making people's minds more open to a possible reality that they've never thought about. So I believe that this is really important that we're going to have here tonight, especially the things that you are going to be talking about.
Awesome. Yes, yes, Eduardo. Exactly. I totally agree with you. It may not be something that may cause something to change within the few years, but for future generations, I believe that people will start picking up in it, and it'll be over with this well, with what we can prove with the scientific method. Other than that, yeah, I totally agree with you. Also, well, the way I started my channel, right, was that, well, before I got into this topic of flat earth, right, back in
Yes.
2017, early 2017. And all of a sudden, like, well, I said, whoa, I'm gonna check it out, at first, and then later on, I figured out, wow, I can't disprove anything they say. So I started listening more, and then I started finding some channels and some information, and that's what led me into what we're gonna talk about today, uh, the
Nice.
scientific method. And I started my channel 2 years ago. I started Flat Earth 2 years ago, but my channel I started 2 years ago, 2000, late 2020. That's when I started.
Okay.
And now it's like starting. I'm starting to feel like it's revving up. It's starting to. I'm
Yeah.
starting to feel like there's more viewers. People understand me. There's other
Yeah.
people who've come along the same line that I've met, that have the same information as I do. It's amazing. It's incredible. You know,
Yes.
and just to find people like that, I'm just stoked at just to find people thinking like me, like you as well, Eduardo.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I've I've kind of arrived to the flat Earth after you, and I can tell you, I'm really happy to know that people were before me, and that's what actually gave me an opening to understand what it was really going on. I know that people think that we are kind of crazy, and actually, at a certain uh, you know, point we are, because we are going totally against what science has been telling people all over these years, you know? So in order to make a good work, and as we don't have a lot of money to just, you know, rise and shine as a lot of people do on the channels or big channels or the big media and stuff like that, we have to just start from any kind of part we are able to. So YouTube is a nice place, and as you can grow your channel, and you can find more people doing the same kind of work, and then you start analyzing what one is doing here, the other is doing over there, kind of style of, you know, like connecting the dots. And that's where we are right now. I started like almost 2 years ago. Actually, at the beginning, my channel had a different name, and then I changed it over to The Key of Science. And right after doing that, something came on to me that I said, wow, I think I really got what I was looking for. And channel started growing and growing and growing. Now we are almost hitting 8,000 subscribers already, which is amazing for a so young channel. So from my side here, buddy, whatever we can do to also help you go ahead and get more subscribers and make your voice heard, you can count on us. You can count on me for that. All right.
Awesome, Eduardo. Thank you so much. I appreciate the help and the love you're giving me. Everyone out there too, I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Eduardo. I feel like that there's well, here's the thing. When you started, I actually saw your channel when you started. I
I
actually saw
believe.
it. I was just kind of you know, kind of learning Portuguese at the moment, you know, and I kind of
Nice.
understood and stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to follow his channel. And by the time I saw, like, I'm like, whoa, this guy has already what, like 4,000 subs, 3,000. I was amazed. I was like, wow, that's amazing,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm just surprised, you know, like that's possible. Here I am, like trying to, you know, like just have my voice heard. And then I'm not sure if you heard of Irulanducci or Nur para Todos. It's a channel on YouTube. It's a Spanish
uh
channel.
I'm not sure, but I will be very happy to know more about it. If you want to
Okay,
even send me the link later on, I can check it out. I follow more
sounds
than
good.
650 channels. Sometimes people send me links to channels, and when I check them out, I'm already there, you know? And I don't even remember I subscribed some days. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. This channel has like over 80,000 subs. You know,
Oh,
and
my.
I went on there, and you know, just to present a debate that I had before,
Yes.
and all of a sudden, like, you know, I started getting all these subscribers, but then there was a point where I started losing subscribers, you know,
Whoa.
and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So I don't know if it's the system on YouTube, or it's probably just sock accounts, you know, just
Okay.
accounts that are fake that people just delete or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's what happened to me. I was getting kind of excited to getting more, and then I was like, whoa, it just stopped, you know. Probably the algorithms or something. I'm not sure if you have heard that.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
hear that YouTube is kind of on the tail of everyone's talking about what we talk about, you know? So I almost experience sometimes some subscribers who kind of leave the channel, but it's not that much that I would go like, oh, I think the algorithm is kind of, you know, give me a hard time. But it is hard to do something like this, you know.
yes,
I notice many times that my channel is not going to be as much advertised as some other channels will, you know. So we got to do whatever we can to make it grow, and it's hard. It's really really a lot of work. I started working on documentaries. I think I believe you have heard already of Ewar, right? Ewaranon. You have heard about this guy, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah, so I belong to the group of people who started working on the multi-language um, video. It's not a transcription, but like subtitles, you know. So we started putting subtitles in all kinds of different languages, and I
Uh-huh.
started to be in touch with these guys. So one day I said to them, look, I would like very much to make a version which is totally in Portuguese. I wouldn't like to just like put up subtitles and stuff like this. And they said, man, go ahead and do whatever you want. You have authorization to do so. So I really started creating these videos, and this is one of the best documentaries I have on the channel right now. And I'm always coming up with new episodes. And I did a totally different work. I kind of remade the whole thing from 0 to 100,
Wow.
and it's going really, really well. So I don't know if you saw that before, but you can check it out later on.
Okay, sounds good, Eduardo. Make
Yeah.
sure to pass me the link.
Yes, I
um,
will.
okay, yeah. Well, yeah, I think, but everything has its time. Everything, it just depends, like how much effort you put into it too. Like you said, like you start putting a lot of work. I mean, it's bound to pay off, sooner or later. And
Yes.
I believe that's what's gonna happen with everyone too, especially with this whole movement. What is science and what is pseudoscience and what's belief and flat earth and all this stuff. Yeah,
Yes.
so I'm not sure if you want to go ahead with the presentation or continue the.
Yes, of course. Of course. I'm just going to turn off the restriction in the chat so people won't have to be waiting for 30 seconds to post stuff. All right. I didn't notice it was on. So
Okay.
now you can post your statements, questions, whatever you want without any waiting time. All right. Sorry about this there, Heavy, but I have already changed it. Okay. So are you going to show something? Have you, like brought anything that you're going to put it on the screen or anything like that?
I have something I'm about to share right now.
Okay. Cool.
Let me see if I can. Okay,
Yes.
this is it. Okay. So usually what I do in my channel is go through everything really, really succinctly or briefly. I try not to make it so long because I know people's attention span isn't as good, especially mine. And I just feel like just getting out of the way. So
Yeah.
this is the scientific method. Uh, this is what all the how do I say all the information condensed into just one lesson. There's a
Okay.
whole lot, but it's just very, very, very specific. So let's start with science, right? What
Okay.
is science? What is science? In my research, and among university students, science is a method. Science is a method, and that's it, right? It focuses on the cause and effect relationships of nature. Let's say whatever you find outside, you go outside, you see boiling water right next to like a mountain or something, and you say, "What is this?" Like uh, that's natural. Let's say that's natural, and then so now let's see what is not science, right? Because
Okay.
a lot of people think, oh, this is science and this is it, but they never see what's not science. Science does not have a mouth, right? Like people say, oh, science says or science does. No, it doesn't have a body either. It doesn't have a mind. It's just also it doesn't have a belief. It's
Okay.
um that's not science. We have scientific communities that they say things, they do things, and they believe things, but they have nothing to say about, like, let's say, empiricism in some things. Let's say just only something, not the whole scientific community. um, the method demonstrates empirical proof, evidence, right? So what
Right.
we focus on are natural sciences. Natural sciences is like I said, you see something outside and you want to find the cause of the effect, right? So
Yes.
for starters, what is natural? right? How to distinguish, um, how to distinguish like nature related to or produced by it, without the intervention of man. That's basically what nature is. It's produced without man intervening.
Right.
Now, this is a little picture that I got for my little nieces and nephews, and
All right.
this is very easy, right? We can, even a 5-year-old can say what's natural and what's not natural here. Like shells, seashells, mushrooms, a pond are natural. A volcano is a natural thing. Plants are natural. Path. Uh, well, right here I have a planet, right? But we know that's not real. And we have stars and the moon. We have the sky, the waves. All that's natural, right? Now, there's some things that are made from man, like this water tap, right? Smoke can be made from humans as well as a house, tunnels, a street, mining. All that is made by humans.
Right.
That would be more of a engineering type of, um how do you say, genre, let's say, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, the natural is what we're trying to figure out. You understand the cause of the effect, like I said, like there's a pond that's boiling in nature and you want to find out what makes it boil. Well, that's where the scientific method comes in, right here. That's where the
Okay.
scientific method comes in. Now, like, what is it? What's the scientific method and what are its steps, right? Well, first off,
Right.
scientific method is a process. Here we have another picture. It's an observation. You have an observation, like I said, the boiling water in nature. You see it, you say, what's going on? Now the problem is you don't know what's causing it. So we're gonna figure it out.
Right.
Hypothesis, right? The hypothesis is, um, eventually the cause of the effect, the cause of what you observe. That that would be your hypothesis.
Right.
Once you get your hypothesis, you can go into experimentation. And experimentation, you have to manipulate your hypotheses, as in, let's say, if I don't know, if you want, like the boiling water, what makes the water boil? Let's say, we all know it's heat, right? Calor. Heat.
Yes.
um Now, heat boils the water, right? And then
Right.
we can tone it down. The heat, we could tone it down, we could tone it up, give it more fire, and it'll cause it not to boil when you turn it down, and cause it to boil even more when you turn it up. So that's manipulating our hypothesis, which is
Right.
basically our independent variable in the experimentation. um, After these 4 or 3 stages, you get your results. Now, after the results, it doesn't matter who you communicated to, but the thing is that you're going to either prove your hypothesis, or you're going to prove that it's incorrect. Understand that? So,
Yep.
one
Perfectly.
that hypothesis correct or hypothesis incorrect. If it's correct, sure, you can actually go and communicate with, I don't know, scientific communities, universities, all this stuff, right? The news. And then here, if it's incorrect, you're going to have to go back and start again with your hypothesis. You have to change your hypothesis and then put it into experimentation, and then you'll get what is probably correct or incorrect again. That's basically what it is. Now, Eduardo, I'm gonna just ask if you have any questions. You can just ask me anytime. You don't have to.
Okay. Whenever I have a question or something, I will just hit it. So you can go And anything that I feel like I'm not able to understand, I will just ask you right away. So
Awesome.
far, so good. All right.
Awesome. Um, let's see. Okay. So, um, here I put I found this online, but this is basically what the method is. It's the process of it. Now, we're going to go a little bit in depth of what each
Okay.
and every one is. The observed natural phenomenon, which is our effect. Oops, sorry.
Okay.
Which is our effect right here. Um, uh, it is what we're starting off from. So we're gonna define that. What is an observed phenomenon, right? What is it?
Right.
Is it is it something man-made? No, it has to be natural. We already defined what natural was up there. Um, what is sorry well, we already described what is nature. Now, the observed phenomenon is an event in nature that can be observed that hasn't been intervened by man. This will be your dependent variable, the effect. Your observed phenomenon is your observation, the effect, and it's your dependent variable. Now, formulation of hypotheses or the cause of the effect will um, will be formulated, right?
Right.
Formulation of hypotheses. What is hypotheses and how to formulate the hypotheses? The hypotheses can be defined as a prediction or provisional explanation to a phenomenon and relates two or more variables to each other or explains casualty uh, causality, sorry, between them, between the cause and the effect, right? We
Right.
must have an observed phenomenon before formulating a hypothesis. So, before you can get your hypothesis, you have to have your observed phenomenon. If you don't have a observed phenomenon, what are you doing? Right? Like, are
Yes.
you just
Yes.
bringing it out of nowhere? Right?
Yeah. Well, what is the point, right?
It,
Even
it,
talking about any hypothesis.
yes, exactly, exactly. So now, once you have these two, once you have these two right here, the observed phenomena, which is the effect, and your hypotheses, the cause, like I said up there, it's time for experimentation. Once, what is the purpose of experiment? Um, it's to prove that consists of causing a phenomenon under certain conditions in order to analyze effects or to verify hypothesis. The three components of an experiment are: number one, the controlled variable is the quantity or condition that is measured and controlled. Number two, hypotheses, cause, or independent variable. This is very important right here because a lot of people, it just goes over their head, especially me. When I first started, like that thing just did not know what it was for stuff.
Okay.
So it is the reason or explanation of occurrence, right, of another phenomenon. In the experiment, it is the variable that the researcher can manipulate, and that's very important right here. The researcher can manipulate. That's so important right there, and is usually called treatment, right? So number three, observed phenomenon or effect or dependent variable is the resulting phenomenon which must be explained. So you have your observed phenomenon, you have your hypotheses. It's going to You're going to have to manipulate your hypothesis to figure out if it caused your observed phenomenon. Now, only after we have validated our hypothesis can we call it empirical science or empirical
Mm-hmm.
evidence. After all this, we can have a scientific theory. and I'll go over it. I'll go over what a scientific theory is another day. um,
Okay,
but right
okay.
now, I just want to leave it right here. And if you have any questions, or if the chat
Yes, I
has
would
any
like to
questions,
comment on something because this kind
yeah.
of topic, I've already been through some situations where people who believe we live on a globe, they say that science, when we're talking about scientific methods, is one thing when it comes down to theories. You know what I'm saying? So
Uh,
they say, because if it is called a theory from my perspective or from my point of view in the past, it is a theory. So it's just some possibility we're talking about. We're not talking about real proof of anything. It is a theory. So people talking about theories, they say, no, but you are mistaken because we have two kinds of theory. We have theory like the general theories, and we have scientific theories, which is the one that you said that you're going to talk about the some other day. But I just would like to understand something. Is it really possible to have a theory which is scientific, but it is empirical, even though we call it a theory? Or every theory is going to turn out to be something that is just a hypothesis or a belief of something that is not 100% proven so far? What would you say about that?
okay, so for starters, I would say that a theory, a scientific theory, only comes after you have done all this.
Okay.
Only after you've done this, once you have proven your hypotheses to be true through experimentation, systematic experimentation, we can have um, proof, empirical proof, so that um, the next person that comes, or like let's say 100 years from now, somebody comes and says, "Hey, you know what? I think there's something else going on there. It's not just that." So that's theory, scientific theory,
Okay.
because it's based on what's already been proven.
All right.
You
So
understand?
there is a scientific theory that turns out to be something real because it's been proven before, even though it's called a theory.
No, 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 no. Like let's say uh do you know um the lack of vitamin C? It
Yes.
um that makes you ill, right?
Right.
So what they did was hypothesize. They say the lack of vitamin C is the cause of people getting sick, right?
All right.
So they gave people vitamin C, to cure scurvy. I think that's what it's called, to cure
Okay.
scurvy, and then scurvy just went away, right?
All right.
So it was the lack of vitamin C. That's empirical evidence, scientific evidence already. That's
All
scientific
right.
evidence already. That's
All
proven.
right.
Now, let's say if I come along and say, "Wait a minute, it wasn't only the vitamin C; it's also this." Why? Because the vitamin C, let's just say the vitamin C has something in it. Let's just say it like that. And then it's my job to figure that out. But that's a scientific theory because it's been proven that vitamin C has gone through the process of the scientific method and
Okay.
has been proven to cure scurvy. So
Okay.
if I come after and say, wait a minute, there's something else that the vitamin C has that cures scurvy. Now that's a scientific theory.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. I got it 100%. Now, man, that was really, I mean, you did clarify that to me now. Okay. So
Uh
let's
huh.
move on.
Sounds good. Let's see. Also, what is that called? You said scientific. no, you said general theory. You said
General
general.
theory.
General
Yes.
theory is just, it could be anybody saying my theory is right,
All right.
with no scientific background at all. That's a general theory, right? Like
Right.
let's say uh somebody was driving and all of a sudden their steering wheel started losing control. So somebody's going to come along and say, oh, my theory is because your um, power steering wasn't working well, or your steering, they're going to come along with that, trying to make themselves sound more educated, or let's say more smart, right? um,
Okay.
and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just that if it's in universities and they're saying my theory is this and is not backed up by science through the scientific method, you can't you can't have it, right? Because it's not scientific. It's just a I think the word is
All right.
colloquial
Oh,
theory.
colloquial. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I hope that answers your theory
Yes.
questions.
Totally. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
clarifying that.
yeah, no problem. um okay, so I mean, I, I know that this will be for everyone watching, right, and in the chat. This is a little bit. Uh, I try to condense it so it won't be so hard to understand. It's just that when when I remember going through this, I still have problems going through this.
All right.
I still don't remember all of it. I still don't. So sometimes when I debate, I get confused sometimes. But that's only because my mind doesn't work as good as
Yeah.
others. Others will have it like right on hand. They'll just pop it out, be like, hey, so I mean, Eduardo, if you want to take this information and use it with anybody, use it on anybody, you're more than glad. I'm more than glad for you to take it and run with it. You understand?
Yeah, I totally understand, man.
Yeah, and everyone too. So I mean, I'll be very happy if everyone starts doing it, and then once we get to critical mass, like the people, like once we start
Yes.
knowing the difference between what is science and what is belief, or like let's say pseudoscience, because there's
Yes.
a lot of people that say, oh, the science has lied. That no, pseudoscience has lied, right? Science, on the other
Right.
hand, has always been with us. You understand? Like
Yes.
it's always
Yes.
been with us, like even like let's say even with creationists, right? I believe you're a creationist, Eduardo. Me too.
Yes.
um
Yes, I
uh
am.
i I'm a creationist too. It's been with creationists, it's been with flat earthers, it's been with anyone who actually understands science, and it's always going to be there. Pseudoscience only comes in because people believe they they believe something, and they try to put it into science when it's not. Like I said, like a colloquial theory, they try
Right.
to put it in science, and it's like there's no need. There's no need.
Yeah.
Now, if there's a way to actually prove it scientifically, I'm all ears for it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm always searching. I'm always looking for new and better information that can help me out.
Yeah, but that's the point. That's the whole thing. Why we're doing this together. Will, we've been going through some hard time in Brazil sometimes because there is a kind of a little fight, among flat earthers here because they think different from one another and they believe like my way of thinking is right, your way of thinking is wrong. They
Uh huh.
don't just talk about it. So
Yes.
one of the things that I decided to actually go out of the box when it comes down to talking about my region, my country itself, is because I noticed that people, even though they also fight over a lot of stuff in the United States, in other countries, or even when, from Spanish speaking countries and stuff, it's not the same thing. They're more like trying to get together and understand what's really going on. So you might say something stupid today that sounds stupid, but later on, it will actually fit somewhere and it's not going to look so stupid, and actually maybe something really smart to say. So when you put all the pieces together, if you know what I mean. So
Yes.
we have to stop actually going against each other and try to study and experiment on stuff and do whatever it's possible, even using our own resources or getting people to just join forces together and making more experiments like happened to me last year. I wasn't expecting the growth of the channel to go so fast, and even people to actually start helping me acquiring new pieces of equipment. And this year, I have a P1000 right behind me that I'm going to start using for experiments as
Nice.
well. And I have a very cool drone here as well that goes really high. But this is just the beginning. I really want to go into buying microscopes, telescopes, and I'm working to get somewhere. So if I can do observations, and like the channel that the guy was just writing messages here a moment ago, the plain truth, this guy uses P1000 all the time, making observations about refraction and objects that are far away from here's his perspective, and it's amazing the results that come out. So if we don't start observing all this stuff and understand that there's something out there, we need to really use all this process that you're talking about to definitely get somewhere. We're always going to just go with the big media says, and it's not that I am a theory conspiracy, like a
Uh-huh.
conspiracy theorist or anything like that. I don't believe everything is a conspiracy, but some things, when you work with video production, for instance, it's kind of hard to just swallow. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, yes. I understand. I agree too. People need to get out there and observe more things and test a few things and some others. But ultimately, I feel like I have to do that too. That's why I feel like I have to get my P9000 or what is
Yeah,
it, P1000
P1000.
telescopes and stuff like that. Even you know what I'm trying to replicate as well. I'm not sure if you've heard the quantum eraser experiment.
I'm not sure I have.
No. Okay. It's totally it's basically quantum mechanics, and
Okay.
I'm just all that what they teach in the universities. I like it because it has you can use the scientific method on it, you know
Okay.
and with that, it's like I want to reproduce that to see if it's true. you know so what happens in the experiment is that they throw a little light through double slits, and they see a pattern of lights.
Okay.
Now, how can they do that if it's only just a, let's say, a little slit? And let's say, like, I'm not sure if you believe in atoms or photons of light, but this is
Yes,
what they
I've
do.
been I've been digging into this as well. There are a few channels that I follow, and sometimes what I see, even with their experiments, it's just like you know, uh, blowing my mind because they talk about like photons and muons and a lot of different stuff that we've been learned. I mean, that we've been taught in school, which so I'm not the perfect person to talk about it because I'm still studying all of these things, but some channels are really getting deep into that. And
Nice.
that's one very important point, Wilbrex, because it's not because we have a channel that all of the things that we talk about in our channels are going to be 100% right. You know, we might be
Yeah.
also mistaken about a certain thing, but sometimes we believe that no, I cannot touch my little
Yeah.
idol, if you know what I'm saying. You know, like oh, this is something I believe it is this way, and nobody's gonna touch it. So I'm not this kind of person. I don't care what it is. I just want to dig in and find out more and more and more to make it possible to come to the real deal. So sometimes I go to channels and I visit them and I see that some things that they are stating or they are actually saying that's real, some other channels are through kinds of experimentations, they're showing a total different story. So how do you deal with that? So we really need to come to a sense and start from a starting point. So that's why I believe this kind of class about scientific method can make a real difference into all of this, you know?
Okay. Yes, yes, Eduardo. I agree too. It's I mean, listen, if even if this what I'm presenting is wrong, I would like to know, you know,
Yes.
because I would be like, I would stop teaching this if it's wrong. But
Yeah,
I found this in a university, right? So
that's right.
I'm going to question the university and take its information and see how I can apply it in real world life. Like, let's say
Yeah.
an experiment that I want to do, which is what I was explaining earlier, the quantum eraser experiment. I want to do that to see if it's real. Now, you can do other
Yes.
things too. You know, you can try to get any type of, like I said, observed phenomenon outside in the world. You know, and then you can say, okay, how is this caused? And there's a whole method which is on screen right now. You can just go through it and prove or disprove your hypothesis.
Yes.
It's not, let's say, rocket science, or just, you know, just to say,
Yeah.
but it's a form process in which you can have empiricism, like scurvy, like vitamin C curing scurvy. That's empirical. That will
Okay.
never change until somebody comes with the theory and, again, proves it with the scientific method. That
Yes.
that's the only way. Now, if there's another way, I would like to look. I would like to know. I would truly like to know. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, we have a few people actually asking questions here
Okay,
while we're talking about this. I don't know if you'd like to see some of these questions and talk
sure,
about.
sure.
Yes. Okay. So, Joey, like it was 20 minutes ago, actually, I favorite his question here, and I'm bringing it up right now. So he says, I have a question. Theorem, let's say in abstract maths, is not an observed phenomenon, but you want to prove a theorem. So what is the difference between hypothesis and a theorem that you want to prove?
Okay. A hypothesis basically is, well, derives from your observation in nature, which is something real, right?
Right.
Anybody can see it. You tell them, hey, there's something happening over here. What's going on? And everyone goes and sees it, and it's real. Now, abstract maths, like the word abstract,
All right.
it can be real, or it can be totally out of this world.
Right.
Like let's say A plus B equals C. You can put ponies, or let's say unicorns for A, one unicorn for an A, two um what is that called, Bigfoot for B, and then
Yeah.
C, you know, like you can add anything. You can name
Yeah.
anything you want in maths. Now, what abstract maths is you're describing our reality. Like, let's say like
Right.
this: how long is this table? how long did this stream take, um how big is that building. You're describing it with numbers, right? So
Right, right,
when you start describing our world with numbers, that's great, that's awesome. But for it to become a something as a hypothesis, it's going to be kind of hard, because you have to start off with something you observe. But here's the thing: maths only describe, right? They only describe.
right.
Maths can figure out some things, like, um, let's say if you, like a car, right? That all that
Yes.
came from engineering and mathematics and what is that? Laws of thermodynamics and all those
Okay.
equations. It's all in there, but they're only descriptions. And from uh, a math viewpoint, you can multiply, you can deduct, you can divide, you can add anything, and it'll give you a let's say it'll give you a consistent number, like, let's say too much pressure and this balloon will pop. How much pressure is it going to be? Well, let's figure it out, right? Like, let's multiply how much we can is in the balloon, and then we can see when it will pop. So you
Right,
describe the mass, you describe the type of material the balloon is, which is rubber, and how much elasticity it is. So you're describing all that with numbers, and then you're multiplying it to see when it's going to pop. And that's great. That's awesome. I don't have no problem with that. But see, maths, it's its own genre, its own
right.
area. There's no need. There's no need to put it in with maths. Sorry, with science. There's no need. It's valid as it is.
Yes. Interesting. Look, I just found a very nice post here on the chat from Javi Gonzalez where he says, he refers to the thing that I was talking about, what's going on in Brazil sometimes, or most of the time, right? from from what I see so far, sometimes it's kind of hard. So he says, luckily that that not happens here in Spain. We have no hive mentality, no got no idols. Each individual on flat earth community can question whatever and be respected. Beautiful what he just said there, because that's what I actually have been lying on. I mean, lying on this time. That's what I believe. It's the right thing to be done. So
Yes.
thank you very much, Javi, for bringing on this actually
Yeah.
thought of yours, because it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I think it's not so much here in, like, let's say Central America, or
Yeah,
like some Spanish speaking countries like Mexico as well. But I feel like there's a lot of pride, you know, like there's a lot
yeah.
of
Pride,
there's yeah,
ego.
ego. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pride. There's a lot of ego. There's people that want to be number one, and
Yes.
I honestly don't care about that. You know.
I don't care it either, man. I don't give, you know, shit about it. You know what I'm saying? Because man, I have some friends. They started even smaller than I did, and actually they out surpassed my channel. And I said, man, wow, what an achievement! Let's do it. And I'm always indicating and recommending his channel and talking about his work. So what? I don't care who gets bigger or stays small. We should go all together. But
Yes.
unfortunately, some people are not like that. You put it really well, you know?
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people like that, and I mean, look, if they're gonna be like that, that's fine. But me, I'm gonna just continue going forward. It doesn't matter if I'm
Yeah, me
first,
too.
doesn't matter if I'm
Me too.
last. You know,
Yes. And
and
it doesn't matter even if YouTube brings us down. We're just gonna come out of the come from
Yeah,
the ashes again, and then we're gonna do whatever it's necessary to just move forward.
exactly.
I don't care, because it's not about money. It's about the real deal. How to
Yes.
actually understand things the way they really are. It's hard for you to understand that you've been lied to for too long. It kind of
Yeah.
upsets people. So I'm one of the people who are just really into knowing what the heck is going on around here. So we're going to get there somehow. It doesn't need to be me or you or anybody else. It just need to be people who care about it and who are really anxious to move forward. I have another question here from a guy who's always around, and he's Noma Call. And he said his question is, Will, can you explain the scientific method using ether experiments like Michelson-Morley and their results? Yeah, I don't know if you are aware of this guy.
Um, and I'm gonna call it. No, I don't know him, but I can say that there are flat earthers that do believe in ether. I believe in ether.
Yes.
I believe in ether.
Okay.
Um, I just cannot prove it in experimentation. Um, the Michelson Morley experiment, um, it lacks in a viable independent variable. It, but I like that Michelson Morley, and I think there are others that messed around with light, uh, had observations, and that led us to what I was talking about earlier, the quantum mechanics. That
Right.
right there, that's where the juicy science comes in. But just that observation from Michelson Morley, there's I've always heard that there is a certain diffraction pattern, and then there isn't a diffraction pattern, and then people say, see, it proves the ether, or it proves that the earth spins, or it doesn't prove that there's ether. There's a lot of conclusions, and honestly, I cannot come to a conclusion using the Michelson more sorry I cannot come to a conclusion using the scientific method. That's
Right.
my opinion on it.
Okay. Great. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is it so far. So,
Okay.
about the presentation, this is it, or you are going to bring something else on it?
Honestly, I have let me see what I can bring up. If you can just give me a few seconds. Is that okay?
Yes, of course.
I'm gonna
I'm also
stop
going to
sharing.
invite a good friend of mine over in a few minutes, because he also speaks English pretty well. And he's got some real cool stuff also in his channel when it comes down to talking about waves and water behavior and stuff like that. So I'm going to actually invite Fake Flip over to join us in a moment. So maybe he's got a few questions or he's got a few comments on everything we've been talking about, right?
Yeah, so sounds good. What's his name again? Sorry.
Uh, it's Fake Flip.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've heard him before.
Yeah, he's that's the name of his channel. But as he's posting stuff here on over the chat, use okay here. This guy, Fake Flip.
Okay. Nah, I don't think so.
Yes, but I'm gonna send you the link to his channel later on.
Awesome.
And yes, and also you can actually. He's got some. I think he's done a a presentation on one of the channels we follow, about Eddie Banjo or something like that. Maybe yes, I believe he did, because I remember him being there once. So I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
ask him to send me the link to that live stream, and I'll send it over to you, and you can check it out so you can hear what he has to say as well.
Sounds great. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's gonna be here. He's gonna be here.
Awesome. That's great. I
Okay.
would like to talk to him. I'm sharing presentation right now. So I said I was gonna save this for later, but might as well just go through it. This is
Okay.
more this is more longer than what uh, well there's than my other presentation. Um, but well, yeah, I'm gonna just go through it. The presentation. You can also find my
Okay.
my video on this on my channel. It's called
Cool.
I'm sorry, Teorías Científicas. I wrote it in Spanish.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
¿Quieres hablar un
scientific.
poquito? ¿Quieres hablar un poquito en español? My
That sounds
Spanish
great.
is not that good, man.
Oh, but it's good though. Like you know a little bit, right? I mean,
I know a
I
little
know.
bit because the place where I lived, there were a lot of Hispanic speaking people. So, you know,
Okay, that's great. Yeah, me, I learned a little bit of what is that called? Portuguese, a little bit.
Portuguese. Yes. My
Yeah,
first language is Portuguese. Yes.
yeah. I like the language. I really do.
Yeah.
I find it very interesting because there's Spanish and then Portuguese, and they pretty much sound the same. You know, like there's just some words that kind of like flip me out
Yeah.
because that, like, let's say in Spanish, thank you would be gracias, and
Yes.
Portuguese is obrigado. Like that's totally
Perfect.
different, you know.
Totally
That's
different.
totally
Totally.
different, yeah. So but there's other words that I'm like, okay, I can follow along, you know.
Right.
um
Cool.
but yeah, Eduardo, so this is called scientific theories and natural laws. Right now what I'm just going to go through is the scientific theory part. The natural laws part, you can actually find it in my video, in my channel. There's a video called scientific theories and natural laws. So let's start with scientific theory. To define the scientific theory, we must first know what science is, which we already know what it was, right?
Yeah.
Back in my previous videos, well, back in my previous presentation today, I just explained what science is. Now, within the scientific method, the most important steps are natural observed phenomenon, which is the dependent variable, hypothesis, independent variable, systematic experimentation. We already know that, you know, in a experimentation, you must have a dependent variable, which is observation, and independent variable, which is hypothesis. Now, only after this, there can be a scientific theory, because it is based on a validated hypothesis through the scientific method. And remember,
Okay.
the scientific method is supposed to explain the cause of the effect. The how does this happen, and why does this happen, right? So science is not concerned about the what it does and what it is questions. Like, let's say if I were to say, Eduardo, what is that instrument behind you? It's a trumpet, right?
It's a trumpet. That's right.
Awesome. Okay. So are we is it necessary to put it through the scientific method? No, right? Because we know it's a
No.
trumpet. We know
Yeah.
it's a trumpet. We know what it does. We created it, right? So
Yes.
there's no need for that. So because that is not the scientific method's mission, right?
All right.
That's not what it does. So um, that would be natural law, and I'll give it after some other day. But first, let's go
Okay.
through the pseudosciences and natural sciences, right? So
Right.
this is me. This is only me. I don't want people to hate on Eduardo, right? So, but so this is just me. These are the pseudosciences that universities say that is science, but it does not adhere to the scientific method. So
Okay.
let's start. Number one would be paleontology, anthropology,
All right.
archaeology, geology, evolution biology, theoretical physics, astrophysics, astronomy, cosmology. Now, all these, the only thing I'm saying is that they do not go through the scientific method. Okay, that's why
All right.
I'm I'm saying that they are pseudosciences. Now, these are false sciences because they do not adhere to the scientific method. Now, these may have natural observed phenomenons, but an experiment is necessary to confirm the cause of the effect, which is the observed phenomenon. And since they do not adhere to the scientific method, that would make them pseudosciences. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
real, real natural sciences, quantum physics, quantum mechanics, genetics, chemistry, biochemistry, biology. And yeah, so these are the natural sciences because they have been validated through the experiment for each one of these categories. They all
Now.
have natural observed phenomenon and confirmed hypotheses through experimentation, right? So
Right.
now that we have validated our hypotheses through experimentation, we have a scientific theory because it is based on empirical evidence, like I said before. So let's
Yes.
define this. Scientific theory. Scientific theories are the result of validated, confirmed scientific hypotheses that have been rigorously tested. And it can be
Perfect.
repeated, and they won't ever change, right?
Right.
So we have now defined what scientific theory is, and these are just some citation. Oh, I'm sorry. This goes on my video. I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to read that.
Okay.
Now, let's say, okay, so that's what basically is a scientific
Right.
theory. It's it's a result that one has of validated, confirmed scientific hypotheses, like I mentioned previous, right? So once we have a scientific theory, we can put it back into, where is it? Into hypothesis, which is the scientific method. So let's say Eduardo or let's say I say that there's something inside of the vitamin C that cures scurvy. Well, that theory of mine is scientific. Why? Because it's validated through the scientific method. But
Right.
there's only one way you can prove your theory, and that is through the scientific method again. You
All
get
right.
you get your theory and just replace it right here where it says hypotheses, and then you go into systematic experimentation and you get your result, whether it's true or false.
Right.
And that is it. That's why when people come up to me saying, no, that's wrong, uh, you do not have to put a scientific theory into what is experiment or scientific method. um, but I ask them, then how do you know your theory is right or wrong? And they say, oh, because it's just a theory. So when I hear them say that, they're letting me know that there isn't any proof of their theory because it hasn't been validated. Same, same as any university or any
Yeah.
college student or anybody. Like they're telling
Yeah.
you, no, you don't have to put your scientific theory into scientific
Yes.
method because it won't be proven. Like that's the part where I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah,
But
I heard the other day a university professor talking about quantum physics, and he said, if you think you're going to understand this thing here, is actually when you don't understand
oh
it.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so even people that are actually teaching stuff over universities at universities, they actually differ from one another in terms of thoughts about things from especially the past. Recently I got someone here who's like amazing guy. His name is João de Ataide, and he is a PhD in anthropology. All right. So we were talking about a lot of stuff, and he said things that people actually, go around saying stuff that happened somewhere in the past. But when you go to the region and you start living with people around, you find, like evidence that's kind of absurd. It's something that, no, that's not possible. People are telling me other stories than the ones that we see on TV, or the ones that people who say that they are the scientists of our generation, that they are kind of telling people we just have to understand that what they're saying is truth, and that's all. I mean, they kind of shove it down our throats without even permission. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
I believe that if we find people who are of this level questioning what happened in the past and questioning things that are really, hard to swallow, like I said before, because just for a change here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the moon landing. If you follow all the chronology of the events that happened from the year 57, when Admiral Richard E. Byrd died, and then right after that, next year we have the rise of NASA, when they actually come into existence, because it was another name before. It was just like a small agency. So after Admiral Byrd dies and NASA comes up next year, then the next year after that, they created the Treaty of Antarctica.
Yes.
And then you start following all the other years, and on this, in the year 1960, they come up with the first video that was produced about the universe, which is called Universe, from a Canadian company. All right. Yes. So take a look at this, man. Admiral Byrd dies 57. NASA is created in 58. 59, we have the treaty that says nobody can actually explore Antarctica without supervision or without something following you there. You can't just take your private jet and say, okay, I'm going to Antarctica. That's it. I'm going to do whatever I want. And then in the year 1960, they come up with the first movie about the universe from this Canadian company. NASA buys 3,000 copies of this film.
Wow.
All right. Yes. And start spreading the news that the world is like what they want people to believe it is. Okay. So if you go a little bit further, you start having all of these congresses that they start bringing people together to talk more about creating new movies, creating new stuff. And that's when Stanley Kubrick gets in the middle. And it starts talking about, that's probably year 1963 or 1964 or something. And Kubrick is talking to the people who created the Universe video, the Universe movie, which is like 30 minutes, long. And then they start talking about producing something. And they had the technology at that time to come up with the real universe Kubrick wanted to develop. So after a few years, 68 now, they come up with the 2001 A Odyssey in Space. And that's surreal, right? What kind of resources did they have at that time in terms of technology that is like a digital enough to do what they did? So in a very optical way, look at this, man. I don't know if you know that, Will, but look what happened. There was a guy who created some kinds of lenses, and then that was able to film stuff like they wanted to film. So he created 10 of those lenses. Man, one lens is stayed with the guy who created it. 3, Stanley Kubrick bought, and guess who got the other 6?
NASA.
You see, isn't it difficult to understand all the math? Man. So there were 10 lenses. The Kubrick got 3. The owner of the technology at that time got 1 for himself, and
Yeah.
NASA got 6. And then they came up with all these videos and productions and stuff like that. In '68, the movie comes to the movie theaters. And what happens in '69? Well, we were already expecting all this thing to come up, right? So
Yep.
men, like, set foot on the moon. So it's hard to bite, man. It's hard to bite this
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
the chronology of the story is kind of weird.
Yes. Yes. It's too much. Too many dots connecting for it to be like like for us not to question. You know,
Yes, yes.
it's just so
and
much.
and that's what makes you start questioning other stuff, because, man, have you seen the videos they have?
Horrible.
Have you seen the videos they got from Apollo 17, Apollo 11, and all of these stuff? It's
Horrible.
like, from the time that I was a little boy and I used to watch TV, and like Spectreman, Ultraman, Ultra 7, it was even more believable than all these videos that we see from NASA at that time, you know?
Yeah.
So, like my
That,
my dear friend Marcio is saying right there, the man never went to the moon, and we kind of know that. A lot of people who believe, even in the spinning globe, knows for sure that this never happened. So if they are lying about certain stuff like that, which is kind of, you know crazy enough for someone to believe after
yeah.
all these technology going on, how come they would not be able to produce more stuff and more stuff, and using stuff that we don't even know about it yet? Because,
Exactly.
technology, we have already stuff created right now that it's going to be launched like 20, 30, 40 days from now. They're not stupid, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I believe they're like way advanced. They're hiding technology from us. At least 20 years advance of technology, at least. Um, or at least patents as well, how to create things in a similar or better fashion. Also about all that, about the footage and Apollo missions and all. Yeah, I think it's hilarious to think that a person cannot think, hey, could this have been staged? I
Yeah,
believe that the footage alone makes you kind of think, huh, if it was staged, let me look at other footage that kind of
yeah,
resembles that. Let me research a little bit, because I remember back when I like this was like what, like 25 years ago. I remember I was staring at these what, shuttles supposedly out in space, but it was just black and white, I think, or
right.
at least it looked that way to me back then. And I kept thinking to myself, like, wow, that's so cool, like as a kid, I liked it, but and then later on, I just kind of forgot about it, and then NASA was like comes in and out of the education system a bit, like I remember hearing them in school, but it wasn't really, it wasn't anything to be like awe about. They just would tell us like, oh yeah, there's new frontiers in space that we must
Yeah,
conquer and blah blah blah. And I would be like, oh, that's cool, but it was never really like footage of 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 us like being in there. And I just feel like if a person does not actually evaluate now as an adult, right? Like as an adult,
right.
like being like, hey, being critical, looking at all the information like you did, connecting all the dots with the history and everything that the government did, and seeing the
Yes,
technology that comes out, and not only that, technology that they might be hiding from us, especially. Um, uh, well, all that leads to a person at least saying, "Hey, I think there might be something here. There might be, but there's still a lot of people, like you said earlier, like indoctrinated. Like it's just they they're just so caught in what they've been taught that they don't want to let it go. You know, they
Yeah.
just like in the movie Matrix. um what was it? I think it was Morpheus told Neo. He said that the people in this system, or in the Matrix, are so bound to it that they will fight just because they are accustomed to the system, not because it's
Yeah.
wrong or right, or no, it's because they're accustomed to it. They're bound to it. They have chains, let's say, mentally, you know. And those are the people that I think that we have to be very, very how do you say, cautious with, because if
Yes.
if you know, one of them just goes start acting all crazy, imagine all of them start acting crazy.
Yeah.
You know.
Look at this. Look at this comment from Joey. We don't have signal when we venture in the woods, but they have camera angles with resolution a gazillion light years away. Yeah, man, it's hard to tell people about stuff that when they already bought the program. I mean, like we were talking about this before. It's not a matter of being right 100%. We might be wrong in many things sometimes, but the
Yes.
point is, why am I not able, or why am I not allowed actually to question anything? Why is it
Yeah.
that I just have to say amen to everything people say, especially when there's something that bothers me, like the bodies in the sky moving around my head, and people are saying that we are the ones spinning? I mean, man, I saw a video today. A guy, he balances on the top of a bottle. He puts another bottle here, and then he puts another bottle on top of the other tip of the bottle. He
Yes.
puts like 4 or 5 wall nuts here, and then a cell phone, and he's able to keep it just still after the 100th time he tried it. All right, but he did so. And this video is pretty cool. I downloaded it today, and I'm gonna actually use it in one of my videos here. I'm going to
Uh-huh.
translate the part that is in English and make possible in Portuguese so people can understand. It's out of this world. I mean, and we are spinning that much, and nobody feels a thing about it, because we're not only talking about the world turning on its axis. We're talking about turning around the sun and revolving
Yes.
around the
Galaxy.
galaxy and the solar system. Man, it's so we are not getting like we're not getting dizzy or anything. So
Yeah.
man, come on, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think there was a saying. I think it was a professor at a university. He says that if an ant were to be on a spinning ball huge enough to be like the Earth, and would it know that it's spinning?
Yeah,
It would know, right? It would know that
yeah,
it's spinning because it's on it. I mean, this they tell us that we don't feel it because of gravity. Okay,
yes,
so that means we can say that the Earth feels like it doesn't move. It's stationary then, you know?
yeah,
And then they go crazy. They say, no, because it's gravity that it's holding like, okay, then that means you don't feel the spin of the Earth then. And they still go crazy, you know? They still kind of have that what is that called? Cognitive dissonance, where they just
yes,
can't see the other side of the coin.
yeah. Yes, and it's easier for people who actually have been taught all of these stuff, and they really believe that we are 100%, like going crazy or something like that, to just say, you guys don't care about what we say. And that's not true. Actually, I
Yeah.
pay attention to what people is talking all the time, because I depend on them to make my research, to do my research, to do my experiments. I depend on that. The thing is that time is going by, and we need time
Yeah.
to to make it our studies better and better, because I'm not the guy with the bucks, man. So I cannot just go wherever I want and buy whatever I want and start doing stuff like traveling around the world, get a jet, go here,
Yeah.
get a plane, go there. If I had all of this money to do this stuff, I would have been even here doing live stream. I would be right there in the middle of the fight, like trying to
Yeah.
go to the extremities, go to equator, and man. So that's one of my goals. But it's hard because we have to go slowly. We don't have all these magnitude of money and stuff, or
Yeah.
support to just go and do whatever we would like to.
Exactly. Yeah. I believe it is important to go out there and do our own observations and see what we can find. But yeah, like you said, it is hard. It is difficult to find the time, especially the time. You know, so sometimes like one just goes through their day just trying to work and just get through the day.
Yeah,
But now money too. We're basically we're kind of tied down. you know it's like as if they thought, hey, we need to make a system for these guys. They won't wander around the earth so much that they're gonna
yeah,
start wanting to go to Antarctica, you know
yeah,
and possibly find what we've been hiding, especially with the treaty, and for years already. And
yeah,
I believe we're really like if my opinion, if we're really, if we wanted to know that the earth like was flat, and like the government to get on board and to be, hey, we're gonna sail out, and we're gonna explore Antarctica and all that. If everybody, right, like the whole world, were to be like that, like I think we might see something like that in our lifetime, that we're going
yeah,
to explore Antarctica. I don't know when,
yeah.
you know, I might be an
I
old
know.
man by then, you know,
or
but
or I wouldn't even be around. but
nah, yeah, nah,
but I feel you. I know what you're saying. I kind of share the same feeling.
yeah. So I believe that we're gonna see that in our days, and
Yeah,
it's going to be very, very exciting, honestly. Like every time I think about it, I get anxious. I'm just like, wow, what is actually out there? Instead of looking up to the sky and looking at videos of CGI and pictures of CGI, I'd rather
yeah,
go see what's in Antarctica and what's beyond it.
yeah. Man, let me ask you something. Can I invite Fake Flip over so we can finish
Yeah, yeah,
our our live stream
of
in a
course.
more fashionably way? So Fake Flip, join us. You got the link. I sent it to you over WhatsApp. So just come and join us, man. And Fake Flip, I'm gonna send you the link later on for you to check out his channel, and you will see. But he's got some really good stuff on waves. He's the one that actually in Brazil right now is the only one that talked about this and confronted a lot of people who actually say that they are the big deals. So it's kind of hard, but that's true. I mean, he came here 4 or 5 times in my channel already, but the live stream were in Portuguese. So if you want to practice your Portuguese, it's going to be cool.
Yeah. Sounds good. I'm gonna really, really work on my Portuguese. Especially, I have a friend that talks. I'm talking to somebody that talks Portuguese right now. So, it's
Nice.
my Portuguese is gonna get a lot better.
Yeah, great. Okay, so he just got here, and I'm
Awesome.
gonna bring him over. Okay. Hey, my man, Fake Flip is in the house. What's up with
Hey,
you,
Fake Flip,
buddy?
how are you?
Hi, good evening, y'all. Nice to meet you, Will. Thank you very
Nice
much
to
for the
meet you too.
invitation, Ed. Um, it's a pleasure to be here. It's very nice what Eduardo is doing, bringing different coaches together, people who believe in the same things and who do not accept the same things the same way. So it's really nice to have this connection with other people from around the earth.
Yeah. Well, Fake Flip, tell
Yeah.
tell Will a little bit about you, your channel, and in which part of the world you are actually standing right now. And be careful not to get off the curve, right?
I'm standing side with you.
Yeah.
Um, well, I live in the UK, but I'm Brazilian, and my channel specializes in ocean physics. Um, uh, Basically, that's it. I'm here mostly to hear what Will wants to talk about, and just help with any comments or anything.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That sounds great. You had said earlier in a question about pictures of waves, or
No, no,
no?
it wasn't. It wasn't I. No, I don't know who did
Oh,
it,
oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I probably got you two mixed up.
but I can talk about it. I like it.
Oh, okay. So, well, I mean, I think it was about ether. Was it
Uh,
you? Or
well, I mentioned something about ether. I believe in ether, and I believe I've seen it. We have images of ether against the sun and against the stars. I don't know if you've
oh,
seen the stars up close and the sun up close. You can see the liquid around it and the liquid boiling and waving.
oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. The observations that yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen the stars. They wave. They I don't know. They do like little sprinkling things. The
Yeah.
sun
And
as well. The moon.
I believe you've seen also the rockets when they hit an area that looks liquid as well. That's certainly liquid. It looks liquid, and you can see waving. You can see two-dimensional waves like making circles in the sky.
Yes, yes, yes. I've seen that.
That's
That
ether. That's ether. Well, I mean,
that
what else
that's
could it be? That's the liquid that it's written in the Bible that we have liquid just underneath the dome. So that's the liquid. That's it. You can see the liquid.
ah okay, okay. I have I think I have another um I have another concept of of ether,
What
because be, because there was a what is that called? There was a video. I'm not sure if you know Wits It Gets It.
I've heard of him. Yes.
Okay, so he says that ether is an impermeable type of material that goes through everything, kind of like what they talk about dark energy in
Yeah, it's
heliocentric
very likely. It's very likely that it goes through solids. Yes,
Oh,
I, I,
okay,
I
okay,
would I would agree with that
okay.
because certain gases like helium, for example, does that. It's known to do that. I don't know if you've seen helium when it gets too cold, it goes through solids.
Yes. Now, if let's say ether were to go through any solids, um, how come we can't go to outer space? We hit the dome, the ether. You said.
Well, I believe the ether is before the solid boundary. I believe there is a solid boundary called the dome or called firmament, and underneath it is the liquid, and that liquid might be able to go through it somehow. I don't know if it goes through, but it goes through solids for sure. So if we, with our material, try to go through it, it will go through us. But maybe it is retained. I believe it is retained by the dome because probably the dome is made of something else that will retain it, but it certainly goes through solids like glass. It goes through glass for sure because I've seen it.
Okay.
Um, but it is definitely liquid. What we see upstairs, up there,
Could
we
could
see
could
liquid.
could it be possible that what I've seen it too, the rockets hitting the something up there, right? You say it's the liquid. Could could it be something else other than what they say that is ether? You know, like could it actually be some type of material, but we can't actually get in there to actually or touch it or interact with it? Would that be a better view on
Yeah,
it?
we certainly can interact with that because if the rockets have been there and they do that all that very beautiful thing that the rockets do
Right.
when they get there, it's a sort of an interaction. It's an interaction.
Okay,
Uh,
okay, but I meant like as in like get like a cup of it, or like,
and you
or
get a sample of it.
yeah, or something. Have they done that? Do you know?
They must have done that.
Yeah,
Of course, I don't doubt that.
I
Of
don't
course,
doubt it either.
this is
Yeah.
something that I would love to do if I could. So I believe the people at NASA, they've done it. I'm sure that, of course, they have.
Yeah, with that amount of
I'm
money they make every day, they must have done a lot of stuff
Yeah,
we
but
can even imagine.
I think if you get a sample of that and bring it down here, it will turn into gas because the temperatures here, it's hot here. So you'll bring it. It's liquid up there, but it's gas here. So it liquefies up there. It's
yes,
it
yeah.
Here's a
liquefies.
comment from Joey again. He says,
Have you
if you
seen?
look at all maps, you understand the last layer before the firmament is not solid. And he says Saturn circulates in the firmament before the dome. Wow. Had you ever heard that? Fake flip?
I
It's
know very
pretty
little
much like,
about.
but
I
it's
know
pretty
very
much
little.
like you said, something not solid before the firmament, right?
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I'm new to
I,
Oh,
astronomy. I
there
have
I
is a
never studied
final
astronomy.
question here from Numacall. Would you guys like to try and answer? It could be any one
sure.
of you guys. So um, he says, last question. You guys can apply the same scientific method using the Foucault pendulum. Some conclusion about it?
No, I don't think so.
No,
The pendulum can be frauded, can be frauded easily. I don't believe that.
that that's true. It can be frauded, but if we do put it into scientific method, that's our observation. Now, what's making it happen? The hypothesis, the Earth spinning. Okay, how are we going to manipulate the Earth for it to stop
And the
um,
physicists, they know
doing
it.
its thing?
They know it. I was listening to thanks to Nosbor Lopez, who's our uh, a, a subscriber of ours. Nosbor invited me the other day to see the Brazilian physicist who debunks NASA all the time. He doesn't claim to be a flat earther though, but he's an open-minded physicist, and he himself says that the pendulum does not prove anything, and the people and the physicists know it. It doesn't prove
Yeah,
anything. It doesn't prove the movement, and they don't believe it.
yeah, yeah. I think as well that there's a lot of physicists that say that it's not compatible with
It
any
cannot
type.
be proven because it is not real. It cannot be proven.
I mean,
It's impossible to make something that is not real be real.
I,
You can fraud, you can deceive, but no.
I can say that if the pendulum, if it does oscillate, right, it's going to oscillate, but why does it do that? I don't know. It could be by the same string that it's on. It probably has like a lot of twists, or
Yeah,
some. It can be very easy to
yeah,
explain.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's just not possible, because when you leave the ground, you can go back to the same point with no problem whatsoever. You don't struggle
exactly.
to like if you take off on a plane, you can turn around and go back and find the same airport easily. And the plane is supposedly a lot slower than the supposed
Right,
movement. So it makes
right.
no sense.
If
It makes no sense. It's just ridiculous. It's just nonsense.
yeah, yeah. If I were to put it in, I guess, more descriptive terms, I would say that the rotating reference frame, which is the Earth, would have to be spinning under, let's say, a helicopter, a drone, a
Yeah,
plane, and
yeah.
which is in the second reference frame,
Yeah,
and
it makes no sense.
that would mean that everything would be all out of whack. They won't arrive to their destination.
That's
It'll
that's
take
right.
longer. It'll deviate. I mean, it'll be crazy.
What sort of sciences do you specialize in, Will?
what sort of sciences?
Yeah, like
Well,
what do you talk about mostly in your channel? What is
okay, so we my channel consists of many topics. Um, it's just that I focus more on scientific method,
mm,
but um, let's say we have also like the rotation of the Earth, gas pressure without a container. I think it's kind of popular in the English community for flat Earth, and also if the curve of the Earth. That's what
have
I.
you been asked? Have you been asked how to reproduce an environment with a gradient of pressure in a closed environment? Have you done that? Have you seen it? Have you been asked and have you answered that question?
Yes, yes. So many times. It can when you say gradient, or when they say gradient
Yeah,
of
high to low, high to low, low to
yeah,
high.
yes. It's actually saying differential pressures, right?
Yeah,
We can have differential pressures inside a container, whether it's closed or open. You just have to add a little bit of cold, a little bit of hot, a little bit more gas, all that stuff, so it can actually be produced inside a closed container or open container.
exactly.
It
Yeah,
honestly doesn't.
that's how I answer as well. You know, I for me, a gradient is formed when you have one side hot and one side cold. Done. That's it.
Ah, I feel. Okay,
One end hot, one end cold. You get a gradient there.
exactly,
So all gas will diffuse towards the cold and towards the more dense area because it seeks condensation.
exactly.
Gases they seek condensation, so they always move towards towards the colder area, which is the last pressure.
Yeah, sounds good.
Mm.
I I believe that there's I mean, just looking at our atmosphere here at the bottom, we have more pressure, and up there we have less pressure. Down here we have more heat. Up there we have less heat. Colder, right? It's a lot colder up there. So if we were
And how
to,
about density? How about density?
yeah, the density of the gases, right?
Yeah, down
Uh,
here and up there. How about density? The difference in density.
yes, yes, it's more dense down here than it is up there.
No, it's the opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course. Because the
Yes,
It's
this is
gases,
denser up
something.
there.
This is
the
something
ga-
we've been studying down here in Brazil, Will, and it's
Oh,
kind
wow.
of blowing up minds. You know.
yeah,
Yeah, it's blowing my mind.
yeah. It is
Oh,
the other way around because
oh,
the gases they seek condensation. So
yes,
the
yes.
movement of gases is to move towards the last pressure, move towards the last heat, and move towards the condensation. That's what they want to do. So they seek condensation. So if they move up there, it's because they condense up there. So it
Okay.
becomes dense up there, and you can see that with water vapor. Water vapor is the more basic gas in the atmosphere.
Yes.
We have it all around us here, right here, and it's all constantly going up. It's all constantly rising, and it rises because it seeks condensation up there, and it does condense, condense or condensate. How do you say condensate? Right? Condensate,
Condense. You can say condense. Oh,
condense.
Condensed.
Both. Can I say both?
I think so. I've never heard.
No,
I've never
I'm not
heard
sure.
or
I'm not sure.
ever tried it. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't have a very good vocabulary in English
It's
technical
okay.
English. In technical English, I lack vocabulary. So basically, it rises seeking condensation. So if it rises, it's because it condenses up there. So the water vapor condenses at the cloud level, and above clouds, there's very little water, very little water up there. So the water vapor stays there, and then it condenses or condensates there and stays there, and then it precipitates again. And so the water vapor does this movement until
Oh,
cloud level. But other gases they go a lot higher. you know, hydrogen, nitrogen. Well, nitrogen maybe not so much because it's heavy,
The noble gases.
but for example, the argon. How do you say argon? How do you
Yes.
say that?
Yes. Argon.
Argon,
Yes.
argon, neon, all the other gases,
Noble gases.
including helium. So they go really high, and probably helium is the one that goes the highest with hydrogen. Um, but basically, they go and they condense or condensate up there. So that's the ether when they condensate. That's the ether
Yeah.
up there.
Okay. Okay. When you say that helium, argon, the let's say noble gases, they go up because they're less dense, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
They're less
And
dense.
once,
They have less protons in their composition. In their how do you say the electrons, protons, and neutrons? They have less, so they're
yes.
lighter. You know, and helium,
Now
for example, is really light, and hydrogen they're really light, so they go a lot up. They go very much.
right. Now I didn't I was talking about like, let's say down here compared to like the highest point that we've measured, right? Like our atmosphere, like it would be less dense up there, right?
No, no, more. It gets more dense. It gets more
Really?
and more dense. It gets liquid. It becomes liquid up there.
No, past that, like,
Past that,
yeah, past that. There are more gases up there, aren't there? Like,
well,
let's say like
the gas
30.
turns to liquid. So the gas turns to liquid. It condenses. It condenses. So to my point of view, the gas seeks
Uh-huh.
condensation. That's the nature of gases. They seek
uh,
condensation. So if they go up there, it's because they condense up there. So they become liquid up there. They get
all
more
the
and more
less
dense.
dense.
They get more and more dense until there's a certain temperature that they liquefy.
Okay, well, I mean, if you can, I don't know, I'll invite you on my channel so that we
Yeah, we
could
can
talk
talk more
about this
about it.
more.
We can see images
um
of the liquid against the stars and the sun, especially the
yes.
sun. There's some very nice images of the liquid around the sun, and you can see it boiling and how do you say, like an effervescent thing, you know.
Okay. Now, yeah, I'll make sure to invite you as well as Eduardo,
Cool.
to my
Nice.
channel. That's first thing on my list now. Yeah,
Yeah, well,
sounds interesting.
I'm not really keen into thermodynamics. We have a Brazilian guy who's much better specialized than me. We've recently had trouble with each other. We've recently had like a quarrel, but he is the guy who knows all about it. And everything I learned in thermodynamics, I learned from him. So basically, you would probably like to invite him mostly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds great too. Yeah. Sounds great. I can't wait.
Cool. All
Okay.
right, so we're almost hitting 2 hours live stream, and I think we should call it a night. What do you guys say?
Oh, well,
I think
I think it's
perfect.
been really
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys would like to mention or ask each other or even read from the comments we are getting on the chat? So or if you don't want to do anything of that, you can actually give your final considerations on the subject tonight. And if you want to talk more about your channel, Will Brex, I will be putting up the links again. Also, Fake Flip channel is going to be shown on the chat box, so you guys can take a look at both guys' work. Okay.
Well, they got to speak Portuguese to understand my work.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's right. But there are
I can.
people here sometimes that they are subscribed in my channel, but they are not in yours. So I'm also going to put that on the line.
Yeah, like my research, I can certainly go to your channel, just like I've been to Eddie's recently. Eddie is a
Yes.
Brazilian who lives in Japan, but he has an English speaking channel. So I spoke about wave
That
diffraction
was
and
a
tsunami there.
pretty cool
Um,
live stream.
Oh wow.
and but obviously I can go anywhere and talk. it would be a pleasure to spread the news, spread my research. Of course.
Nice. I'm
Sounds
glad I
great.
put you guys in touch, and I believe it's going to break the world on fire again. And we're going to have to be seeing some water shaking.
Yeah, what
Sounds
you're doing to
good.
do is really great. You know, you're bringing people together from different parts of the world. Like, for example, Will had never heard of these things that I think about, these things that uh, Mr. Score, Robert Score, things that he talks about. Basically, this is his knowledge that he passed on, and now I'm passing on to Will. And the objective is to have everybody informed. You know.
Yes. Yeah. It is, and yeah, I thank Eduardo for the invitation and for introducing me
Oh, my
to Fake
pleasure.
Flip.
It was my pleasure.
What's your name? Fake Flip.
It's Fake Flip. My name is Raphael,
Oh,
but you better call me Fake Flip.
okay, okay, okay.
I
Yeah,
don't I
yeah.
don't I don't really I don't really answer if people call me by my name. You know,
Oh,
it's the
okay, okay.
nickname is better.
Sounds good. Fake Flip. Okay. Well, yeah. Thanks again, Eduardo. And Fake
Thank
Flip.
you, buddy.
Thanks for your information and stuff. And also thanks to the chat. I see some familiar faces there. Eugenia,
Yes.
Javi Gonzalez, Atando los Cabos. Um,
Yeah, I saw some new faces down
sorry.
there.
So, so sorry if I don't find you there and you're saying hi, Will, or for the people that know me. But yeah, I thank everybody, and well, it's been great giving out information and taking in information. This is the way how we grow, and we're just gonna have to
Yeah.
continue going. Um, Fake Flip, I'll invite you to my channel. Also, I have a channel in Discord if you guys want to follow me there, where I have a group
Nice.
and you guys can chat along as well.
Okay, great. Will, I want to thank you so much for being with us tonight. It was a great pleasure and honor having you around. I believe there's a lot to come. So whenever you need us, just can count on us and we'll be there once more. Okay. Thank you. And we'll be talking later on using, I think we were talking through emails, right? We were exchanging emails,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yes. Okay. Right. Do you use Telegram or WhatsApp or stuff like that?
I'm just connected right now to Discord. I could probably get Telegram to work,
Yes.
um,
Yes. It's
but
it's pretty
For
easy
Brazilians,
to get in touch over there.
I'll let you know through email for sure.
for
Okay.
Brazilians, it's WhatsApp. Will all the Brazilians have a WhatsApp?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
telephone. It's like
Sa- sa-
telephone.
same thing in the Spanish community. Central America, Mexico, Argentina, all them countries. They all have WhatsApp, man. It's worldwide.
Yes. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, a lot of people here sends you love, Will, for being around. I
Oh,
think you got a few more subscribers as well. Fake Flip,
thank
my
you.
man, thank you so much for being here as well with us tonight. It was a blast having you in the show, man. It's always a pleasure and an honor having you. You know that. And I believe we're going to have one more show that is going to be just as fantastic as this one, which is going to be taking place on Saturday night. And Bobby Thompson is going to be here. He's from a channel, Will, called Flat Earth and Coffee. So I think you guys should check this out. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
And we are going to have another English chat here. And I believe we're going to have more of these like every month. And for you guys who are actually those who don't speak Portuguese at all, there is a version of my channel which is called The Key of Science on YouTube, and you can also subscribe there.
The key of
That's where
knowledge, isn't it?
I'm actually broadcasting on both channels right now, the Portuguese and the English one.
Oh.
What is that, Fake Flip?
It's the key of knowledge, isn't it?
What did I say?
You said the key of science, but I think your
Oh,
your
I'm going
channel
crazy.
is
It's
the
the
key of
key of
knowledge.
knowledge. It's the key of knowledge. Yes, yes. I'm sort of going crazy myself
You're
sometimes.
multitasking too
Yesterday,
much.
yeah, yesterday I was talking about a lot of stuff from the Bible, and I was exchanging names, and I gave Joseph kids that it was not his kids; it was like his brother. And I was like, my gosh, I'm doing like the same guy who's telling the story of he's telling the story of Ezekiel or something like that. That the guy who climbed on the tree to see Jesus, and then he says he's talking about Moses. He exchanges the character and he says, "Get down the tree, Moses. What are you doing up there? It's Zacchaeus' place." So sometimes we mix it up, but it's something that happens, man. We read so much sometimes, and we just tend to go, and exchange names and stuff. But that's right. Fake Flip is right. It's the Key of Knowledge channel. It's also on YouTube, and you can also follow me there. Whenever we have English live streams here, it's going to be broadcast in both Portuguese and English channels. All right, guys. So, Fake Flip, please say something, my man.
Well, I'm one of Edu's. I call him Edu because it's Eduardo, right? I'm one of Edu's #1 fan here, amongst with some others in the chat there, and I've been here since nearly the beginning, almost one of the first subscribers. I don't know how many he had when I joined, so that's why I know so much about his channel, and I try to collaborate with him and help him with many things he tries to do. I think his channel has a lot of potential, so that's why I corrected him. I seem to know more about his own channel than himself.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
sure.
And Edu, you maybe you don't know, Will, and the people who are listening, but Edu has done an incredible work on the Bible. He knows the Bible like no one else, or like few,
Awesome.
and he has done a timeline on the Bible. He's researched so much and read
Oh,
so
that's
much
great.
that he knows nearly like everybody's birthday on the Bible.
On the Bible.
You know?
That's
He
great.
knows when everybody was born, how many years, how old people were,
Even
and
Adam.
when people were born. He almost knows the age of Earth. He's almost there. He's getting there. So he's been sharing that with people he's been studying that for nearly 25 years. Is that right, Edu? 25.
Wow.
Yeah, almost for over 22 up to 23 years. I'm not
Yeah, over
actually
20 years.
100% sure, but it's over 22 years.
Over 20 years, he's been studying the Bible and doing the maths on the Bible, counting when people were born, when people how old they were when they died, and he has come up with a timeline. So this is something that might interest the people where you live. Is that the U.S. where you live?
Yes.
Yeah, like many Brazilians are into his channel now, and his channel has grown from 0 to nearly 7,000 now, Edu?
Yeah, I
In
actually saw
almost
it grow.
8,000 now.
almost 8,000 now.
I actually saw it grow. Like I was here too, like when he had like, I don't know, 700, 600, something like that. And then like I don't know how much time later, when I saw he already had like over 1,000, 4,000 or something like that. I was like, whoa, he's
Yeah,
growing
but
so fast.
people think that he's buying subscribers and things, but it's not true. He does a
Yeah.
great job. He does a great job. He brings people like you. He brings the other day he brought Ataiji, a very interesting interview. I watched it after. I wanted to watch live, but I watched it after. The guy's simply incredible, simply amazing.
Credit.
I the kind of people that we want to listen to, because the guy has traveled the world, has lived here and there everywhere. The guy knows things that like, for example, I didn't know, and he puts it in a very simple way, like uh, every other archaeologist knows that the level of the ocean has changed over the years. Oh, I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
And the guy knows some
That was some interesting info, Fake Flip.
very interesting. It's very interesting that certain sciences, they complement other sciences. Because I doubt physicists know that the ocean has changed levels over the years. I doubt that. And archaeologists know it. And the guy brought the information. I said, wow, that's very interesting, because from now on, when I start thinking about the ocean, I will remember that information. And I think
Yeah.
what Edu is doing by bringing intellectuals of different areas and different areas of thoughts and sciences and Bible as well, but biblical studies as well, is just incredible. And no wonder why his channel has grown. His channel is aged the same as mine, 2 years old now, right? No, it's going to be 2 years this year, right? It's a year and a half
Yes,
old.
it's almost 2 years. I think
Not,
it's
not even 2 years old, and already 8,000
April.
subscribers he has. So
Wow.
he's amazing, this guy.
That's great. Yeah, I've been trying to follow along with Eduardo's channel, but my lack of Portuguese kind of doesn't help me, you know. So I mean, I see how he's grown like a lot, like you know, and I've seen some of the live streams that he's had with flat Earth, the Bible, or any other
Yeah.
sciences, and I try to keep along, but I mean, it's very hard for me, but I mean, it's interesting, and yeah, I feel like Eduardo is he seems sincere, you know,
Yeah.
not like many others out there,
No,
and
he is
I
sincere.
feel like like you do fake flip, that I think his channel has a lot of potential as well. Yeah, that's great.
All right, guys. What can I say? I love you all. Thank you so much for being around once more. And I'll see you guys pretty soon. Okay, we're gonna certainly have more of these in like the near future. That's what I want for all of us. Let's get more people talking about this. Let's, you know, do something relevant about it. It doesn't mean we have to be right, but we have to be willing to be right. So we have to search for the truth. We have to do more research, and that's the point. Okay. Well, so this is it for tonight. Thank you all for joining us through the chat and watching this video. If you want to know more about us, you can also take a look around. We have some other videos here, even though some of the videos are even in English. So if you don't speak Portuguese, you can check them out. We have a lot of stuff here from the old times. Uh, there is a guy talking about the moon being plasma in 50 something, you know. So there's a lot of cool videos that you can watch and even question more. Thank you so much, Will Brex. Thank you. I'll see you next time. Fake Flip, thank you so much. I'll also see you next time. So this is it. I'm going to finish this live show as I usually do, and we'll be right back soon. Tomorrow, we're not having anything on the channel so far. If something comes up, I'll let you know on Telegram. But Saturday, it'll be a blast. Get ready, guys, because it's gonna be awesome. I can feel that. So, Will, you can watch this one on Saturday. That's the guy that's gonna be here. I told you about Bobby Thompson. All right.
Yes, yes,
I'll be
sounds
moderating,
great.
and then Will can
Yeah.
participate. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome,
Cool.
awesome, sounds great.
I hope you guys are around and we can chat more. See you guys soon. This is it for tonight. As we say in Brazil, Will Brex, fui.